Power plants with renewable energy sources that are environmentally friendly are becoming increasingly important in this modern era. Conventional energy sources such as fossil fuels, such as coal and oil, are not only expensive, but also bad for the environment and human health. In addition, nuclear power plants pose great safety risks and very high costs. Therefore, new innovations in environmentally friendly power generation technologies are urgently needed. Renewable energy sources such as wind, solar, water, and biomass are better and more sustainable alternatives. Power generation using renewable energy sources also produces little to no carbon emissions and air pollution, thereby helping to reduce the impact of climate change. New innovations in renewable energy technologies are also important for improving efficiency and reducing the cost of producing renewable energy. The more new technologies are developed and introduced, the more affordable and accessible it becomes to the general public. In addition, renewable energy can also help drive economic growth and create new jobs in the renewable energy industry. This can reduce dependence on imported fossil fuels and improve the country's energy security. Overall, new innovations in renewable energy technologies are important for reducing the environmental impact of power generation and increasing economic and environmental sustainability. Therefore, it is necessary to support and accelerate the development of renewable energy technologies to address the challenges facing the world today.
Nuclear power plants are one of the technologies that are often used to generate electrical energy. Even though it has the potential to produce large and efficient electrical energy, there are several drawbacks to nuclear power plants. One of the drawbacks of nuclear power plants is the issue of safety. The process of operating a nuclear power plant is very sensitive and must be carried out with care. There is a risk of a nuclear accident or disaster that could occur if not done properly, as happened in the Chernobyl and Fukushima nuclear disasters. In addition, the radioactive waste generated from the nuclear power generation process can also have a negative impact on the environment and human health if not managed properly. In addition to safety concerns, nuclear power plants also have high manufacturing and maintenance costs. The construction and maintenance of nuclear power plants requires very sophisticated and expensive technology, and requires large operational costs. This makes nuclear power plants unaffordable for developing countries. Overall, even though nuclear power plants have the potential to produce large and efficient electrical energy, there are some drawbacks that must be considered, such as safety issues and high manufacturing and maintenance costs. Therefore, alternative energy such as renewable energy can be a better choice for a more sustainable future. Currently, one of the main challenges faced by many countries around the world is the lack of adequate sources of electricity generation. While there are many different types of power generation, including hydropower, nuclear power, and solar power, each type of energy resource has its own advantages and disadvantages. One of the biggest drawbacks of current sources of power generation is their dependence on fossil fuels, such as coal and oil. Besides being increasingly expensive, the use of fossil fuels is also very damaging to the environment because it produces carbon dioxide emissions which have an impact on climate change. In addition, several types of renewable energy sources such as solar power and wind power also have deficiencies in terms of reliability. For example, solar power can only be produced when the sun is shining, and wind power can only be generated when the wind is blowing. Because of this, power plants that rely on this renewable energy source cannot be relied on consistently to produce sufficient electricity. Although solar and wind power are renewable energy sources that are more environmentally friendly, these two types of energy sources also have some drawbacks. First of all, the cost of building infrastructure for electricity generation using solar or wind power is relatively high. While these costs have decreased in recent years, they are still significantly more expensive than power generation infrastructure that runs on fossil fuels. This is due to the relatively high production and installation costs of solar panels or wind turbines, in addition to construction costs, maintenance costs for power generation infrastructure using solar or wind power are also relatively expensive. Solar panels and wind turbines require regular maintenance and replacement to maintain performance, which can be costly. In addition, both solar and wind power require a large area to operate. This means that infrastructure for electricity generation using solar or wind power requires large areas of land, and locations that are suitable for exposure to sufficient sunlight or strong winds. When the weather is less favorable, solar power and wind power also cannot produce electricity optimally. So, sometimes electricity generation infrastructure that uses solar power or wind power needs to be accompanied by other sources of energy reserves, such as power plants that use fossil fuels. Overall, while solar and wind power can be greener alternatives, their high development and maintenance costs are a drawback to consider. Despite this, the technology and infrastructure for electricity generation using solar and wind power continues to evolve, and is likely to become more affordable and efficient in the future. Another problem faced by power generation sources today is the lack of investment in the development of more efficient and environmentally friendly technologies. Even though new technologies are constantly developing, many countries still rely on existing power plants and are not investing large enough to develop new technologies that are better and more efficient. Overall, the current shortage of power generation sources is a major challenge for the global community. However, by developing new and more efficient technologies and investing in more environmentally friendly sources of renewable energy, we can overcome these drawbacks and build a more sustainable future. Cow power plant is a concept that converts the physical strength of cows into an energy source that can be used to generate electricity. This concept is based on the principle that cows can provide power through their body movements, just like wind or water power. The process of generating a cow power plant begins by installing special equipment on the body of the cow, such as a cow power utility for traditional industries. This equipment will be connected to a generator, which will convert the movement of the cows into electrical energy. The cow power plant concept has several advantages. First of all, it is an environmentally friendly way to generate energy, as it does not produce the carbon emissions that power plants use on fossil fuels. In addition, cattle power plants can also help increase energy independence in rural areas, especially in areas with lots of cows. In its development, the cow power generation technology is still in its early stages and further research is needed to optimize its performance. However, the great potential of this concept makes it feasible to be explored further as an alternative energy source that is environmentally friendly and sustainable.